Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to my reading journey. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you're all doing great. And let me remind you, I'm reading At Arms with Morpheus, and we stopped at the moment when one guy trying to prevent the other guy who's sick, to prevent him of falling asleep. So, let's continue and see how it goes. He tried to rise from the couch. With all his size, he was very weak now. I thrust him. I thrust him back with one arm. He lay there, glaring like a lion in the trap. That will hold you for a while, you old loony, I said to myself. Up to get up and lit my pipe, for I was needing a smoke. I walked around a bit, congratulating myself on my brilliant idea. I heard a snore. I looked around. Tom was asleep again. I walked over and punched him on the jaw. He looked at me as pleasant and ungrudging as an idiot. Ungrudging. I chewed my pipe and gave it to him hard. I want you to recover yourself and get out of my rooms as soon as you can, I said insultingly. I've told you what I think of you. If you have any honor or honesty left you, well, think twice before you attempt again to associate with gentlemen. She is a poor girl, isn't she? I sneered. Somewhat too plain and unfashionable for us since we got our money. Be ashamed to walk on Fifth Avenue with her, wouldn't you? Hopkins, you're 47 times worse than a cad. No idea. Who cares for your money? I don't. I'll bet that girl don't. Perhaps if you didn't have you, you'd be more of a man. You'll be more of a man. As it is, you've made a cur of yourself, and I thought that quite dramatic, perhaps broken and faithful heart. Old Tom Hopkins, breaking a faithful heart. Let me be rid of you as soon as possible. I turned my back on Tom and winked at myself in the mirror. I heard him moving, and I turned again quickly. I didn't want 198 pounds falling on me from the rear. But Tom had only turned partly over, and laid one arm across his face. He spoke a few words, rather more distinctly than before. I couldn't have talked this way to you, Billy, even if I'd heard people lying about you. But just soon I can stand up, and I'll break your neck. Don't forget it. I did feel a little ashamed then, but it was to save Tom. In the morning, when I explained it, we would have a good laugh over it together. In about 20 minutes, Tom dropped into a sound, easy slumber. I felt his pulse, listened to his respiration, and let him sleep. Everything was normal and Tom was safe. I went into the other room and tumbled into bed. I found Tom up dressed. when I awoke the next morning, he was entirely himself again, with the exception of shaky nerves and a tongue like a white oak chip. What an idiot I was, he said thoughtfully. I remember thinking that quinine bottle looked queer while I was taking a dose. Looked queer. I was taking the dose. How much trouble in bringing me around? I told him no. His memory seemed bad about the entire affair. I concluded that he had no recollection of my efforts to keep him awake. I concluded that he had no recollection of my efforts to keep him awake. I decided not to enlighten him. Some other time, I thought, when he was feeling better, we would have some fun over it. Something gonna happen. When Tom was ready to go, he stopped with the door open and shook my hand. Much obliged, old fellow, he said quietly, for taking so much trouble with me. And for what you said, I'm going down now to telegraph to the little girl. Right, that's another good story by O. Henry, and we're gonna have one more tomorrow. See you guys. Thank you for coming. Bye.